Okay, so today's Chronicles of George update is a short one. So before I get into it, I do want to talk about a few of the comments on some of these posts, and let's talk about who might play what characters if there is actually a sitcom called The Chronicles of George. Now, if you have been keeping up with the episodes, you guys know that George had an episode, which he is claiming is a diabetic episode, where he started trying to destroy the piano. Well, this woman said, when my ex started breaking my things, I smashed all his football trophies. Yeah, felt good about doing that. He's still living in his high school 20 something football fantasy days. We are in our 50s now. Stay strong, young women out there. And then this person says, in my opinion, when men start punching walls, throwing things, breaking things, drinking to cope, especially when they have different things like pumes, swords, and tasers, it's time to leave. They might not understand tit for tat, or care that they started it, especially if they have a short fuse and giant ego. I know that we are kind of laughing and bonding together, but when a man starts showing signs of destroying property, that is a sign. Please exit stage left. This is a green flag. So this male didn't know how to do all of the things, but he asked and then he reciprocated her efforts. So this person says, I don't usually comment, but I have to share this story. I once had a coworker, he was 20 years old and had just moved out. His family was very old fashioned and he was never taught anything about how to cook or clean. His younger sister would come over to his apartment and take care of him. But he wanted to be better, so one day I took him to Walmart and spent hours showing him what cleaning supplies to use, what was easy to cook, etc. This is the important part. He then took me to an auto shop and taught me about cars, something that I had never learned. He spent just as much time and we both benefited. Now he can do his own laundry and I can change my own oil. So if you find somebody that is in need, who is willing to trade expertise, fine. This goes back to pour into the people who have poured into you. That's a win win. So, as we have been discussing the George situation and then people weighing in with their George stories, I am seeing that this could truly be a business opportunity for women. I have already talked about opting out of the the free labor that should be taxed. Make that money, sis. So this woman says, so basically we need to create a home economics class for older men. If these people do not care to learn how to cook and clean on their own, we need to make this profitable. They can live in squalor if they want to, or we can start marketing to these people. Put up flyers at businesses, in the office, behind the scenes, at Starbucks, wherever, sandwich shops, that kind of thing. And this person in yellow, that circle, this person says these men wouldn't dare look up a recipe on YouTube for free. So why would y'all think they would sign up for a class? Just being honest. That is very true. But they could either live in squalor or learn how to do it by themselves, because what we are doing, we are pulling back. We're creating boundaries. And if these men don't want to cultivate relationships, learn how to be a partner, then they need to pay for this stuff. And ladies, stop doing it for free. Now, I did say, let's come up with a cast of characters. Who would play these people that we have now identified? So this person says George would be Lawrence Fishburne. We have Evelyn as played by Jennifer Lewis or Angela Bassett or Kerry Washington. Mr. Fabulous as played by Billy Porter. The three daughters, Kiki Palmer, Megan Good, Taraji P. Henson. She says Dee Dee as Janelle Monáe. I also got Dee Dee as Raven Simone from TikTok. The boss would be played by Keith David. I don't know Keith David or Rick Fox, and the office manager as Loretta Devine. So this was the fullest list. This list was amazing. I did see Morgan Freeman's name put out there. I saw to play George, I believe. It was Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson to play George. That's what I saw. I also saw Irv Gotti to play George. So we can keep playing along and trying to come up with who would play who. Now, let's get to the short update that I told y'all about. So this is what Miss Sassy says. Oh man, y'all, we didn't come up with who's going to play Miss Sassy in the cast of characters. So be sure to put that in the comments. Who do you see playing Miss Sassy? All right. So this is what she says. She says, almost quiet on the Western Front. To further prove your point about how this plays out like a sitcom, I finally asked Mr. Fabulous where he's been getting his information from. And he told me he's been listening through a vent. So picture that in our show. That's pretty sitcom like. I asked Mrs. M how she knows all this stuff. She told me, child, I hear every damn thing. I sit right here. You and that heifer, what she affectionately calls Mr. Fabulous, are always downstairs in the embalming room or out back. Here, being adjacent to our boss's office and George's office. However, Mr. Fabulous is mad. He can't hear upstairs for the foreseeable future. Our new temp that is doing George's work plays music all day. Mr. Fabulous said, I don't want to hear Red Hot Chili Peppers. I want to hear what George is doing. So that is the end of that. So in conclusion, we got comments popping. Comments are popping on both my TikTok and my YouTube pages. We got a cast of characters. It's still going. We can still flesh this out a little bit. We still need to talk about Miss Sassy, who would play Miss Sassy. So you guys go ahead and jump in. You know what? I think Kerry Washington would be a good Miss Sassy, but you guys can go ahead and weigh in on that. All right, jump in the comments, like, comment, share.
Subscribe right now. Right now.
All right, you heard her. This is my Miss Sassy.